Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's Phil at Destination Vinyl. This is going to be my entry for Robert Z's 22 VC lottery. And the caveat was you had to wear green. Went and bought this stupid hat, and I got my old green sweatshirt on. And in this video, he wants us to talk about our collecting habits, our room, our influences, you know, anything basically to do about how we collect records. So to start, I'm just going to say where I shop. Um, I don't do a lot of online shopping. I do buy the occasional album from Amazon. Um, I don't do Walmart. Walmart, when they opened in my area, killed a whole bunch of local family-owned businesses that had to shut down because they couldn't compete, and I just refuse to shop at Walmart for that. But Amazon, I will occasionally buy the odd thing if it's something that I really, really want and I can't find it anywhere else. It happens like that, right? But basically, I have a whole bunch of local shops. There's a couple of chain stores. There's a Red Rum near me, and there's a Sunrise not far from my work as well, which I would go there for new vinyl. But for all my other stuff, what I usually go to is the little mom and pop stores. I got a good friend, Bob, who owns Crazy Bob's Music Emporium in Langley. I go there a lot. I think I know his inventory better than him now. Um, there's also Apollo Records out in Port Coquitlam. Apollo Music, pardon me. Uh, he's a good source for new vinyl as well. It's a bit cheaper than Sunrise, but he's also got a ton of constantly rotating in used stock. Same as a store in Surrey near me called Innovative Audio, and they not only sell vinyl, but they sell reconditioned stereos, and they recondition your stereos. If you got equipment to be repaired, they will do that for you. I've had several things tuned up and rebuilt there over the years. Really good store. And the owner of the store, well, one of the co-owners of the store, Mark, who handles the record end of it, not the stereo end, I'm going to take this hat off, Robert, because this is just throwing shadow that is already making my dark room look any darker than what it already is. So you see me wear green, right? And I got my green sweatshirt on. Um, yeah, so that's Innovative Audio, but he also has his own private collection, and when he buys collections for the store, he keeps them at his place and filters through them, grades them, packages them in his outer sleeves, and cleans them, and then puts them in the store for sale. So that takes, a lot of his time. But I have been to his house once, and yeah, he once bought, a couple of years ago, he bought a 40,000 piece collection of albums, and he let me and my friend Paul have first crack at going through it. We got a third of the way through, and I spent each a couple of $100. Just crazy, crazy stuff. But fantastic condition that he gets. Anything that's garbage or really bad shape, he'll either throw in the dollar bin or just donate to thrift stores. So that's where I go for my record. Oh, and also the record fairs. We have two big record swap meets in Vancouver. One in April and one in usually October, November, depending on the hall's availability. I far prefer the one in April. It's usually held at a bigger center. A lot more room for vendors. Prices are a lot cheaper. They have one right downtown that's a bit smaller venue. It gets really crowded and cramped and hot in there, and it's just really uncomfortable to go through. And you're just shoulder to shoulder with people. The other one in April usually has a lot more shoulder spaces, a lot bigger room. Um, what else? How do I keep track of my thing? I keep track on Discogs, like most people, I suppose. I used to keep a handwritten list, pages and pages of the stuff. And I would tote that thing with me everywhere, and I just got tired of looking through it, all trying to find out what I have and don't have. So Discogs is way easier. I keep it on my phone. It's right in my pocket if I want to see, do I have that? Yeah, I do. Because nothing is worse. Well, I shouldn't say nothing, but there isn't much worse than going to a record store or a swap meet or whatever, and finding what you think is a grail find. Oh yeah, I've been looking for this. And you get it home, you clean it, you play it, you re-sleeve it, and you go to put it on the shelf, and oh, you've already got one of them. What a waste of money and time that was. Yeah. So now I take it with me on my phone, and That hasn't happened in a long time. I hate doubles. Although my friends benefit, Paul and Greg, because they get my doubles. Uh, what's important? Well, Robert, you and I are going to have a slight argument here. In your video about the lottery, you stressed like 16,000 times that condition is everything. Condition is everything. And to a point, I agree. Don't get angry at me, but to a point, I agree. And the point I differ on it is the vinyl for me is the key. If I'm leafing through bins and I find an album that's on my list that I've been looking for a long time and I want it, and the vinyl is in good shape, I will get it despite what condition the jacket is in, because I can always try and find an upgrade. It's the vinyl that I play. It's the vinyl I listen to. I want the music. That's what's the most important to me. Yeah, the jacket's important too. I understand your meticulousness about having a perfect collection, but sometimes that just isn't available when you're forced to buy used stuff, because I can't afford all the MoFis and pristine Japanese editions of things that you have. I just can't afford it. So I have to deal with the cards I'm dealt with, and that involves buying used records mostly. So yeah, sometimes I will get an album that I really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Case in point, this is the band cover of Scorpions in Trance with the nipple slip. You can see it. But as you can see, it's also got terrible ringwear on the cover. When I walked into Red Rum one day, I'd been looking for this album for years. Walked into Red Rum, it was in their new arrivals. He wanted $5 for it. I took it out. The vinyl is pretty much mint. It's got a little dust on it right now, but the vinyl is absolutely mint. Am I going to turn that down for $5? No. So for something like that, I will get it, and I will put it on my list to get an upgrade cover later on. I mean, this cover is thrashed, it's roached, but it is what it is. The vinyl is good. I want to listen to the vinyl. I don't listen to the cover. I have about my last count was 19, I think, albums I'm looking for upgrades on covers. And I have found a whole bunch recently. Where I went to a used store and I found a whole bunch that I wanted to upgrade covers on, so that was cool. One by one I get them. And the second album I'll either give to friends or trade with them, or I'll just donate. Or I'll trade them back to the store for credit on future purchases. My influences? Well, early on in life, I've been collecting since I was 12. I'm just about 59 now. I've been collecting since I was 12. I apologize for my voice, by the way, and sniffling. It's spring, and I hate spring. Frickin' allergies are kicking in gear already. The daffodils are up outside. Everything's budding. I frickin' hate it. Give me perpetual fall, please. So anyway, influences. Yeah, early on when I was young, it was my parents, because my parents, I listened when they were in the car, or whatever's on the radio is what my dad wanted to listen to. That's what we listened to. And we came over from England in '66. I was born there. I was 3 years old when we came over. But my dad brought with him his collection of 45s, which of course is a lot of all the British stuff, but some of it wasn't really available over here. Some of it was hard to get. So a lot of Spencer Davis Group, Kinks, Beatles, of course, Walker Brothers, a lot of stuff that just people didn't listen to over here, weren't really aware of, or it just sort of slipped through the cracks. A lot of stuff like that. I still have on 45 Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick and Titch, Hold Tight. It's in pretty rough shape. It's on Fontana label with the little, like the English 45s all have, is the built-in center, so you don't need to put the little plastic wheel in the center there. And when I play that for friends, what the hell is that? I heard that in a movie once. Yeah, it was in that Kurt Russell piece of crap, one of those Tarantino movies. I forget what the name of it was. Anyway, but yeah, other than that, my older brother, he's 5 years older than me. He got into music earlier than I did, so he was collecting, and I listened to what he listened to, and some of it I liked, some of it I didn't like, and I learned to, bands from that, what bands I liked and such. That's where I got my love of BTO from. He was a big fan of theirs and turned me on to BTO. That was great. Because most of the time when I was a kid, I listened to softer stuff because that's what my parents listened to. So I listened to the Beatles, and when my brother started listening to other stuff, uh, BTO, and he started listening to. He didn't really get into Queen. He had the one album he didn't really like, and he passed it on to me, and I loved it. Um, but he introduced me to bands that taught me that music can be more than just simple 2 to 3 minute little love ditties. Music can be 6, 7 minutes long. It can be loud. It can be raunchy. You can swear in a song. And wow, I thought, wow, this is really cool. This is stuff I'd never heard in the car with mom and dad or on the radio stations they listened to. So when I was, I don't know, about 8, 9 years old, my parents gave me a radio, my own radio, AM/FM, a little transistor portable thing to listen to in my room, so I could listen to the station I wanted to listen to. And yeah, the world opened up. Now, the first albums that I ever bought for myself when I was 12 were the Beatles Red and Blue compilation editions. Who doesn't have those in their collections, right? And soon after that, I started listening to more music and realized, wow, there's a whole new world out there. And one day at the Port Moody Public Library, picked up these, leaking through their old record collection there, and oh crap, I never heard of it. And then I saw this album by a group called Queen with the big black cover and the big fancy logo in the center. And I saw this one with a triangle on it, Pink Floyd. And I thought, I've heard of these albums, I've never heard them. So I took those home and spun them and played them to death. And oh man, I suddenly realized what music could be, and that was it. I was hooked, and the record collection has gone nuts ever since. Um, and other than that, influences now, YouTube. YouTube is a big influence. I watch a lot of videos, a lot of guys recommending bands and albums, and now via the miracle of the internet, I don't have to go buy it and try it and say, oh, I don't like it. That was $12 wasted or whatever the album cost, right? Now you can go on YouTube and play a song, or you like it, play more songs, play an whole album. And yeah, I like this, I'm going to go get this. Or if I don't like this, pass. Your taste is different than mine. And also my friends. I have not only my older brother, but I have two friends, Paul and Greg, who both collect vinyl. And I listen to a lot of the stuff they listen to. I don't like it all, and they don't like a lot of the stuff I listen to. But that's what sparks conversation. That's what sparks, debate. Is why is this band good? Why do you like this band? What's good about it? What's bad? Excuse me. So those are my influences. I would love to show you my record room, but it's a mess. My boxes are all, my albums are all in boxes right now. My friend Greg, unfortunately, is moving back to Manitoba. He wants to go there, or he has a cabin on a lake out there, and his parents are both old and in homes, and he wants to be there with them. So he's uprooting and going back home to Winnipeg. And I've got all my albums in boxes stacked, like I said, waiting for him because he's got a big homemade sturdy shelf he's gonna give me. He's gonna pack it up and move it. So at the end of this month, he's giving me his storage shelf. Then I can get all my albums out of boxes. But right now, I would be showing you a whole ton of albums, but I've got tennis elbow here from repetitive motion at work, and I can't lift anything over a pound. This arm is just killing me. I got to wear this brace. So the albums I am going to show are ones that I've got in my to be played box, or ones that I have played that I haven't put away and organized yet because I can't lift the damn boxes. But back to Condition, Robert. Yeah, Condition is important to me. I will not buy an album if the vinyl is roached. No point. If I can't play it and listen to it, I'm not going to bother, right? I'll just put it back and say nope next time. But yeah, in the case of the Scorpions album, I wanted it. The vinyl was good. I had the lady at the store play one side on the turntable. Little bit of crack and pop. We cleaned it, put it back on, gone. So that's sort of what I use as my benchmark. And I will find a better cover for this one day. I've seen it around. I will find a better cover. Um, and what value of, I mentioned cost earlier. Yeah, record collecting is an expensive hobby. There's no equipment. It's expensive. Upgrading styluses are expensive. Shelving can get to be a problem. Space is certainly an issue. Um, I have two humongous Audiosphere 250 watt speakers down here, and a couple of Pioneer 100 watts on top of them for the higher end notes. And for me to show you, it's going to be, well, I'll do a video tour later when I get my room set up properly. Right now it's a mess. I got stuff for the trailer's got to go back in for the spring and summer. They're piled up. Yeah, don't get me started on this. I had it all set up nicely in my room upstairs, and my wife wanted it for an exercise room, and so she won that debate. But as far as searching for good stuff, you also mentioned you wanted us to talk about grails. This one behind me here, this is the Black Keys El Camino. I heard this album at my buddy's place years ago, and I said I want it. And it's been on the top of my want list for, well, since this album came out 10, 11 years ago, something like that. But I couldn't find it for the life of me. Every once in a while, I just, I see a video on YouTube and someone in a record store or swap meet, and they pass through it, or I see it on the shelf, buy it for me, buy it for me. And you never find it yourself. So, our frustration, I phoned Red one day and said, hey, can you get this album for me? I'm willing to wait, I'm willing to pay for it. And they phoned me back like a week later, we can get it, but it's only the 10th anniversary 3-disc, 3-vinyl, 3-LP edition. And it opens up into this wonderful gatefold. Just beautiful. So it's got one album is the original album, one is outtakes, and one is live. And yeah, I paid I think $65 for this Canadian. All the prices I say are in Canadian because that's where I am. So I paid about $65 for this, I think. But it's a grail. It was worth it. I've wanted this. I got it, and I'm very, very happy with it. I think the most expensive album that I paid for, not the most valuable, the one I think I paid the most for, was this. And I got this just late last year. And this is the Best of Bond, James Bond. And this is a triple album set. This is a 3-vinyl LP set. One part of the gatefold of all the James Bond themes. Every single one from the movies, right up to including the new one that, that last piece of crap, I hated it. No Time to Die. Oh, God, I hated that movie. It was worse than Moonraker. Well, I should show you the labels on these. The labels are pretty cool. The label they all come in these nice polyline sleeves. Robbie, you'll appreciate that. But the labels are really cool because they got the looking down the barrel of the gun on the label. And I think I paid $86 for this. And I saw it online on Amazon back in, it took a long time to get here. I ordered this, I think, back in October last year. Yeah, October 21. And the shipping date was supposed to be before December 6th or December 7th, something like that, early December. And it didn't arrive until early January. It just took forever. And at one point I contacted the seller and said, hey, it's never showed. Canada Post can't track it. Can you send another one? And of course, what happens the day after I complained about it not arriving? It arrives. So I had to quickly get back to the guy and say, hey, don't ship it. It got here. So he was happy about that. Sent him a second one. But I'm an honest person. I would have returned it. So no big deal. And where do I start in the shop when I go shopping? I saw Ron Haggerty talk about this, and he goes straight to the discount bins. Whenever I go to a shop, first thing I do is I look around the wall displays, because every shop has albums around the wall. Like I have a couple up here. Again, my room is in flux right now. But every store has albums up on display on the wall, the good stuff, the more expensive stuff. And that's where I look first, because I can stand there and just do a full 360 and go and grab something while I want it. Because if I can see it, everyone can see it. If I want it, I'm going to take it. After that, I always go to new arrivals. Just probably most of the stuff on the shelf if I go to, and I go to these stores pretty regularly, so I have a good idea of what's in their bin. Some stuff slips through occasionally, obviously, so that's why I check every bin when I do go. But I'll start at the new arrivals. Why not, right? That's where the new stuff is going to be. That's where stuff I haven't seen is going to be. And then I'll go through the A through Z. And I check soundtracks as well. I love soundtracks. And case in point, Robert, another one here about condition. At our New Year's party, my friend Bob was playing music and we were dancing, and he played a bunch of songs from the Grease soundtrack, and we were up there dancing away to it, and my wife loved it. And I think, shit, there was a lot of good songs on this damn movie. I never really realized how many good songs are on this movie. I only saw the movie once or twice. And I started looking for a copy of it, and I never realized how hard that was going to be to find one that wasn't, thrashed. Because these things went to parties a lot. And funny, one day I walked into my friend Crazy Bob's, and he says, "I got one for you." And I says, "What do you got?" He says, "I got this." And he says, "I was hesitant to save this for you because it's got handwriting on the cover. Someone obviously took it to a party and labeled it for themselves. So, Morena Forlin? Yeah, Morena Forlin. Thank you for handwriting your name twice on the front cover, and once on the back cover, and once on each frickin' label. But, and once on the inside, like, we didn't know whose album it was. But, the vinyl in this, again, is pristine. And that's what I want it for, the vinyl, so I can play the music. I've seen a lot of copies of this around. So one day I will find one with a decent cover, and I'll swap the covers out. So, again, sorry, Robert, but it's the music that was most important to me. Now I've got it. Now I can take my time and search for a good cover. And I will find one. They're all over the place. Just a matter of finding one that's been given a little bit more TLC than that one. So yeah, I think I covered a lot of it. I mentioned my speakers. My stereo system, if you can see it, is two Stanton DJ turntables, Stanton STR8-20s, and I got a little Stanton mixing board there. This is a SMX201. I used to DJ a lot of parties. Now I just sort of do it for casual things in our complex, in our clubhouse, when we get together in groups. We'll do a Halloween, we'll do a spring one, we'll do a New Year's Eve one sometimes. COVID allowing, right? My stereo down below, I got a JVC amp and power amp. You can't see it, but I'm just not gonna. I'll get to that later. And I got a Harman Kardon cassette player, because I still make mixtapes. I got a little portable Sony boombox I take camping with us, so I can have tunes around the campfire if I want. Sorry, my voice is getting thrashed here. Allergies again. What else did he want us to talk about? And I also collect books and magazines on certain bands that I like. I've got a couple of these Encyclopedia of Rockstar type things that show, bands A to Z, albums recommended, albums to stay away from, rating the albums out of 10, etc., etc. A little bit of history on the band and the album itself. And the only problem I have with, I'd say, all of these books, I got another one up here that's Music Hound, I think it's called. Yeah, Music Hound. And that is that it's very U.S. based. Understandable, they're U.S. publications. But you know what? We have bands in Canada too. Bands that have made it big in the States. But in these things, if you're not, if your name isn't BTO, if you aren't the Guess Who, April Wine might be in here. If you're not any one of these 3 or 4 big major bands that broke early into the States, then you're not in here. Yeah, April Wine isn't in here. Triumph isn't in here. Trooper isn't in here. So many great Canadian bands. Tragically Hip aren't in here. But so many great Canadian bands that just get excluded from these publications because they're Canadian. Well, pardon us. I think Rush is in there. That's about it. But there are a lot of great Canadian bands that are in these things. So, trying to find one with homegrown talent in this is just doesn't seem to be possible. And I do get these. The magazine is uncut, and they come out with this Ultimate Collector's Edition magazines. And I got a few of these, Rolling Stones. I'm reading one right now on Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, whole bunch of these things. These are really interesting magazines. I really like those. And of course I got my green hat so I can enter the lottery. And right now my 45s are just stored in little boxes that we get at work for, they have copy paper in them, photocopy paper, and so that's what I keep my 45s in right now until I can get my shelves organized. And Robert, I'm actually going to do what you did in your video, Bed Bath & Beyond, those nice little boxes for storing 6, 7-inch singles. That's a brilliant idea. I'm going to go get some of those today. I've got to go out and get my dad a birthday present. It was his 85th birthday last week. I'm taking him out for dinner tonight, him and Mum. So I'll go get a couple of those boxes while I'm down that way. And you mentioned Grails as well, stuff to show. This box set, Rush Clockwork Angels Tour. Oh, I love this one. This is fantastic. And I paid, I don't remember what I paid for this. This actually this might have been the most expensive album I bought. This is just an awesome set. And actually, it's ironic. The most I spent on an album, I think it was that one. I think I spent over 100 on that one. But the most valuable album I have, yeah, I can't show you. It's 4 boxes deep, and like I said, I can't lift the boxes right now because of my arm. But the most valuable album I have, let's put it that way, the most valuable album I have, according to Discogs anyway, is a almost mint copy of the Carpenters' Offerings album. And I got that for nothing. I have a buddy who owns a body shop. Stopping by to see him one day, and after work for a beer a couple of years ago, and he has just a couple of boxes of albums in there. And I said, "Where did you get these from?" He says, "I found them in the alley outside the shop. Someone just dumped them there. Probably thought they were dropping it outside the thrift store that's the other side of the block, and they left them in front of his store instead, or forgot to move them." So he bought them inside. And I'm looking through them, a bunch of Carpenter stuff. A lot of the stuff was rain-soaked, and the covers were peeling, etc., etc., etc. But I thought, I'll take all of them. I'll leaf through them at home, and the ones that are good condition, I'll keep. The ones that are roached, I'll throw away or just donate, whatever. But there was a whole bunch there was like 15 Carpenters albums in there, a lot of them doubles and triples, but only one of this one Offerings. And I'm looking at this thing, it's just interesting cover. Yeah, it was in just mint shape, like I don't think it had ever been played. And according to Discogs, that thing I think is worth about $250 in good shape. I guess anything is valuable depending on who will pay for it, like whoever wants it. Yeah, so that's my most valuable album. I don't know what else to say. Oh, you mentioned Record Store Day, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Record Store Day. I like the special edition albums and all that, but make more than 1,000 of the things. Make it fair. You go and line up at your local store, and you pick the one that's closest to you just because the driver or whatever, you can get there quicker, you get there early, you line up for outside, you get in first, second, third, whatever, and you look through the shelf, and they don't have any of the ones you wanted on that list. Would have been nice to know, but they can't broadcast the list of what, or at least they don't broadcast the list of what they're getting. Maybe they don't know, I have no idea, but yeah, so I'm not a big fan of it. And then you go online and you see the ones you do want for sale at 3 times the price of what they were for sale in the store. No, I'm not paying the scalpers, I'm not paying the price gougers. I just won't do it. I'll wait a couple of years and I'll find them in the used bin, or I'll find them when they're a lot cheaper. I'm not paying the gouging price. I only have one Record Store Day album, and I didn't buy it. It was on my want list, but I didn't buy it. It was, I think I've already filed it away in a box. Yeah, I've already filed it away. And that was sent to me by my good friend Bernard Jean in Quebec. His channel is Hitch a Ride, world's biggest Boston fan. And he sent me off my want list the Stampeders' Greatest Hits, the Record Store Day edition. Man, what a fantastic album. Another Canadian band from the late 60s, early 70s. A lot of hits in Canada. I don't know how well they did in the States. One or two hits might have broken through. Um, it seems a lot of Canadian bands, the further south you get of the border, they start to fade away. A few exceptions being Gordon Lightfoot, Rush, BTO, that sort of thing. But a lot of the other Canadian bands just seem to sort of dissipate in following as you further south you get. But all these bands played clubs all along the border, so all the border towns know them. And yeah, so I don't know what else to say about that. I lost my train of thought there. Um, I think that should about do it, Robert. I think this has gone on long enough. No one wants to listen to me ramble any longer than, oh my god, 31 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to call this a day. So, Robert, I hope I win, but if I don't, good luck to whoever does win. Congratulations to whoever does win it. If I'm not the one, so be it. I will still submit a prize because that's the rules. So, Robert, myself, and my green hat bid you a good day. Take care, everybody. See you later.